Here's Johnny!
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the films that have stood the test of time and continue to be rewatched and referenced decades after they've been released. We'll only be focusing on live-action movies, as animated ones deserve a list of their own.
To infinity and beyond!
Number 20, The Dark Knight.
You want to know how I got these scars?
It may be hard to believe, but at one point, superhero films weren't nearly as adored as they are today. While there were a few notable exceptions, the genre was purely seen as filler entertainment between more reputable projects. The Dark Knight revolutionized the way a hero's story could be told, but its impact goes far beyond the theater. It's become a cultural mainstay, with Ledger's portrayal of the Joker being referenced in various media. Its popularity was then solidified following its usage in various political campaigns in the late 2000s. Whether one is paying homage to its gritty tone or merely using an iconic line for a meme, its popularity extends far beyond the genre's usual audience.
A little fight in you. I like that.
Then you're gonna love me.
Number 19, The Exorcist.
Begone! In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit!
It isn't every day that a film in a non-traditional category appeals to such a vast array of people. While some may only remember The Exorcist for its often abrasive dialogue and effects, its influence on pop culture cannot be overstated.
Did you know that the Christian religion has over 1 billion followers?
Big deal. So does the Wheel of Fortune. So don't try to impress me with numbers.
Although it has been widely referenced throughout entertainment, particularly comedy, it easily broke past those barriers into the real world. It's been used as a vehicle for delivering political talking points, especially during the downfall of the Clinton administration. One of its biggest successes was in appealing to those who followed stricter religions, breaking boundaries in a way that no one could have anticipated. It helped pave the way for future horror franchises, serving as the blueprint that other scary movies follow today.
It's the power of Christ that compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
Number 18, Die Hard. You know that a movie carries untold influence when practically everyone that follows it is compared to it in some sense. For years after its release, several action flicks were marketed by comparing them directly to Die Hard. But its popularity reached further than the studios. It's been referenced in some way in practically every form of media, from digital to physical.
What is it?
Nakatomi Plaza. It's the most important monument in all of America. The building from Die Hard. Can we go in? Can we pay our respects?
It's even crossed boundaries by being introduced to younger children through their own age-appropriate content. Beyond entertainment, it's also given way to an annual debate on its status as a Christmas film. Whether you believe it is or it isn't, the fact that one picture can hold so much sway even today is proof of its ingenuity.
9,986,000 minutes. That's like watching Die Hard 80,000 times.
Number 17, Goodfellas.
Really funny. What do you mean I'm funny? It's funny, you know. It's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy.
While they may not be huge blockbusters, Martin Scorsese's films are still undeniably popular. He's helped add several phrases to the cultural lexicon, which is most evident in the 1976 cult classic Taxi Driver.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
However, the importance of Goodfellas is much more vast than mere quotes. It's credited with helping to popularize the gangster subgenre, inspiring a wealth of various television shows and movies, including The Sopranos. It's been referenced in countless films found within the same category, as though they're paying homage to the piece that allowed them to flourish in the first place. Even if people haven't seen Goodfellas, there's still a good chance they've seen an aspect of it elsewhere, proving its legacy beyond a shadow of a doubt.
This notepad and pencil is from Mr. Tony over there.
Number 16, The Shining.
Here's Johnny!
When even the smallest visual details are being recreated in subsequent works, you know you've got a truly popular piece on your hands. Whether its imagery is being utilized in other films or being circulated in various memes, it's proven to have found a niche. This is all the more impressive given its reaction when it was first released.
Feeling fine. Wow, that's a relief.
Several musicians have also used it as inspiration for their own creative output, from music videos to whole albums. However, the biggest proof of its retroactive popularity is its original author, Stephen King, referencing it in his more recent work, essentially re-entering it into his universe in a meta fashion. It's the ultimate proof that a flick doesn't need to have been received well initially to thrive.
Come and play with us. Come and play with us, Daddy.
Number 15, Mean Girls.
On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
It's October 3rd.
2 weeks later, we spoke again.
It's raining.
Yeah.
The internet has had a huge hand in helping several films remain relevant long past their initial release. Mean Girls is one of the biggest beneficiaries of this, with practically every line going on to become iconic in some fashion.
So that's against the rules, and you can't sit with us. Whatever. Those rules aren't real. They were real that day I wore a vest, because that vest was disgusting. You can't sit with us!
It's practically come to define the millennial generation, serving as a microcosm of their youth. As such, various details have been reincorporated throughout pop culture, from music to television shows to advertisements. It's even been given its own honorary day of the year, which also makes for the perfect day to rewatch it. It's so widely beloved that a few of its quotes even served as a way of soothing those who were anxious during the pandemic in 2020.
I can't go out. I'm sick.
Number 14, The Princess Bride.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
This is the ultimate proof that a film doesn't have to be a box office smash to have lasting popularity. Quotable from beginning to end, it completely redefined what a fantasy story could entail. Several modern projects have made reference to The Princess Bride, with Fred Savage even returning to reprise his role in the PG-13 rated version of the first Deadpool sequel.
Did you reconstruct the bedroom set from The Princess Bride?
Inconceivable!
Oh, God.
Yeah, I always wanted to say that.
The movie's influence has also seeped into the real world as well. A bar in Chicago centered around the flick also offers an opportunity to immerse oneself into the world, allowing fans across the nation to enjoy drinks themed around their own favorite piece of art. With all this in mind, it's no wonder why several cast members are still asked about it decades later.
Mostly dead. He's slightly alive. Now, all dead. Well, with all dead, there's usually only one thing that you can do.
What's that?
Go through his clothes and look for loose change.
Number 13, Jaws.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
With this release, the industry was permanently changed. It was the beginning of what became known as the summer blockbuster, many of which were compared to Jaws when first announced. The film was integral in creating the model that many Hollywood studios still use today when planning and creating new movies.
Peter, will you knock that off? It's getting annoying.
All right, fine. I'm gonna go scare some people.
Nobody will buy it. There are no sharks out here.
Lots of people swimming up there. I could pig out if I wanted to, but I'm watching my weight.
Its popularity ended up having a slightly negative effect, with some passionate fans going out to hunt sharks en masse. Jaws has also inspired a sprawling franchise, complete with multiple musicals, video games, and even a Lego set. While it may have a simpler concept now compared to other contemporary pictures, it's still highly effective, ensuring it won't lose its place on the throne anytime soon. Number 12, Ghostbusters.
Something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters! All it takes is hearing a few notes of the theme song for it to be recognized. If that isn't evidence of its popularity, then we don't know what is. Ghostbusters was one of the few pieces of media that helped counteract some of the negative perceptions believed about New York City at the time. This helped boost tourism in the area and made people feel safer in the process.
We've been going about this all wrong. This Mr. Stay Puft is okay. He's a sailor. He's in New York. We get this guy laid, we won't have any trouble.
The second part of their iconic team name has breached into real life, being applied to various careers such as farming and economics. The instantly recognizable logo has also become a mainstay as well, with many using it to protest unsavory politicians or large corporations that mistreat their employees. Number 11, Forrest Gump.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
It isn't often that a movie serves as a snapshot of the United States' history and culture. Forrest Gump is no stranger to the concept of popularity, with it becoming an instant box office and critical success. It has an underlying wholesome tone that appeals to a broad audience, making it the perfect watch for people of all ages and beliefs. Debates around the character's morality, Jenny in particular, are still going strong today, keeping it a part of the broader conversation.
Together, their one-sided relationship will serve as cliff notes to 40 years of whitewashed American history, utilizing brilliant visual effects and terrible overdubbing.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
It bottled pure, unadulterated nostalgia into one viewing experience, making it hard to watch without feeling wistful for another time. The symbolism is also still being discussed today, with many having differing ideas on what it all means.
Wait, no way. Is that Forrest Gump? I wonder what that idiot's been up to since high school.
Forrest Gump? Honestly, kind of a lot.
Yeah, learning to tie his shoes. God damn, he was dumb.
Number 10, the Harry Potter franchise.
Come on, Tom. Let's finish this the way we started.
Together. Before this series, the idea of children's media having any real narrative depth was practically unheard of. The success of the Harry Potter films helped see a surge in young adult book sales, with many newer ones being able to become their own franchises thanks to their magical predecessor. Beyond its impact on the literary world, it has unfettered social influence. Countless fans still discover their house or their Patronus to this day, allowing them to become immersed in the realm.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. That's me. Snape. Harry. 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 Dumbledore!
It's breached into politics, with some unsavory politicians being compared to Lord Voldemort as a way of taking away some of their power. Its dedicated fan base has ensured that it will forever have a place within pop culture.
They didn't die in vain. But you will, because you're wrong. Harry's heart did beat for us. For all of us. It's not over.
Number 9, Jurassic Park.
Turn the light off!
While its technical aspects are usually praised, and for good reason, it has plenty more to offer in the way of cultural impact. Jurassic Park inspired a mass wave of interest in dinosaurs in the real world, motivating a whole generation of children into fields that had seen dwindling interest beforehand. The film was key in helping Toronto find a name and mascot following their addition to the National Basketball Association in 1995. Its true legacy lies in the way other films have adopted its use of special effects, particularly CGI, which is still utilized by countless studios to this day. No wonder it's still considered one of the most influential pictures in all of cinema history. Number 8, Titanic.
I'm the king of the world!
When it comes to blockbusters, nobody does it quite like James Cameron. He's been at the helm of several highly influential pictures, with each shaping the culture in their own unique ways. While it may not have a dedicated fan base, Avatar is still revered for its groundbreaking use of 3D technology. Titanic never truly had its successor's issue, as it was an immediate favorite among viewers and critics.
My God. Okay, wow. Okay, fine. You want to do this? Let's do this. First of all, you came to where I live and you hit me.
Various aspects of its plot have stood the test of time and are still talked about to this day, such as the logistics of the infamous emotional climax.
I don't know about you, but I intend to write a strongly worded letter to the White Star Line about all this.
Cameron created what was essentially a modern-day romantic tragedy, making the reality of the Titanic disaster all the more relatable and emotional.
Hello! Can anyone hear me?
There's nothing here, sir.
Come back! Come back!
Number 7. The Lord of the Rings franchise.
What's happening out there?
Shall I describe it to you? Or would you like me to find you a box?
It isn't often that a film adaptation elevates the original source material rather than takes away from it. Based upon a single novel of the same name, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is one of the most revered fantasy series in recent cinematic history. Its broad scope and commitment to the original plot have allowed the novel to thrive long after it was first published. It had a large impact on global tourism, particularly in New Zealand. People were flocking from all over to see the gorgeous sites where they were filmed.
Welcome to Middle-earth, my friend. I'm here to guide you on your journey, so cease your rabble-rousing and listen very carefully.
Along with Harry Potter, it helped revive and repopularize fantasy as a genre, getting a whole new generation excited for stories of that nature. Number 6. The Matrix.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
While The Dark Knight may have redefined what a superhero movie could be, this helped inspire them to be made in the first place. With its breathtaking effects and gripping story, The Matrix quickly became one of the most popular films of its time. Elements of the plot have seeped out into the real world, especially the red versus blue pill question. Various groups online have latched onto this as a way of expressing their own views, causing the plot device to become a controversial and permanent mainstay in today's culture.
I know reality, Ben. You're the one who suggested we all live in the Matrix.
Ma'am, nobody chose to live in the Matrix.
What?
The machines rose up and placed humans in the Matrix so they could use them as a biological power source.
Well, whose side were you on?
Even describing something as pilled is an indirect reference to it. Beyond that, it's also been lampooned and referenced countless times across various art forms, giving it the multifaceted legacy it has today.
Hey, why are they hooked up like that? Is it some kind of Craftmatic adjustable deathbed?
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Their bodies are being used to generate electricity. The idea came from an old movie called The Matrix.
But wouldn't almost anything make a better battery than a human body? Like a potato? Or a battery?
Number 5. Pulp Fiction.
And in Paris, you can buy beer in McDonald's. And you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
Oh man, they got the metric system. They wouldn't know what the quarter pounder is.
And what do they call it?
They call it the Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
That's right.
To say this shook things up would be an understatement. By incorporating copious amounts of violence and utilizing a non-traditional method of storytelling, Pulp Fiction easily became one of the most unique and important films of all time. It helped raise independent movie makers to higher levels, as the success of Tarantino's project allowed them to receive higher budgets for their own. The film also had a hand in bringing noir back into the mainstream.
It's a chopper, baby.
Whose chopper is this?
Zed's.
Who's Zed?
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Beyond filmmaking, it had an immediate impact in online spaces, with fans joining together to foster a community dedicated to it. It's no wonder some of the most revered critics have gone on to say that it's one of, if not the most influential film of the 1990s.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you.
Number 4, Back to the Future.
What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour!
It did what most couldn't. Find a way to make time travel central to the plot without it becoming too confusing. Back to the Future is a truly special film, with a story that can excite even the most cold-hearted cynic. Its portrayal of the 1950s and 1980s are both steeped in nostalgia, appealing to an older generation that grew up during those days. The genuinely fun plot and consistently hilarious quips have remained timeless, making it perfect to introduce to younger generations as well.
Is place the right tense for something that would have happened in the future of a past that was affected by something from the future?
Had will have placed?
That's my boy.
Even the usage of the DeLorean, the iconic car used to travel back in time, has ended up being a culturally impactful choice, with people accessorizing their own cars to look like them.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Number 3, The Wizard of Oz.
Rub, rub, here, rub, rub there, whether you're tin or bras. That's how we keep you in repair in the merry old land of Oz.
Even though it first came out in 1939, it is still one of the most popular films ever made. While the book alone had already made huge strides in creating fantasy works for children, the movie took that success and made it even more all-encompassing. Several props, including the iconic ruby red slippers worn by Judy Garland, are considered to be some of the world's most valuable memorabilia. Parodies of The Wizard of Oz and covers of the songs on the soundtrack have also proven to be extremely successful, proving just how influential it is culturally.
Were we in the dream?
Well, yeah, everyone was there. Hey, where's breakfast, by the way?
While not many films from Hollywood's golden era have remained in the public consciousness, this one has stood the test of time to become an international favorite.
And remember, my sentimental friend, that a heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others.
Number 2, The Godfather.
Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want.
It's too late. They start shooting in a week.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's often regarded as one of the greatest films ever made, and it's clear to see why. Beyond what technically makes it good, it helped create some of the stereotypes surrounding Italian Americans. Some even formed their opinions on the group after seeing this movie, proving that even the best works can have some disastrous real-world consequences.
So walk out of the place real fast, but you don't run. Don't look nobody directly in the eye, but you don't look away either. Hey, they're gonna be scared stiff of you, believe me, so don't worry about nothing.
The picture also created and popularized terms for the mafia, which quickly became widespread. Even if someone hasn't seen The Godfather, its quotes are so iconic that they still know of its impact. Everything from The Simpsons to Barbie has referenced it in one way or another, ensuring that it will maintain a legacy far beyond its filmmaking prowess. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
No, I am your father. Not true.
Although the franchise as a whole has had some sort of impact on pop culture, it's this particular sequel that has remained one of the most relevant in the decade since it was released. The Empire Strikes Back has several elements that have been continuously referenced in other media, such as the landmark twist ending that still shocks new viewers to this day.
Okay, no, I am your father.
Well, that's fine, but I don't see how that affects...
It's Its usage of a cliffhanger ending in particular has caused it to become more prominent in other media, with whole franchises taking inspiration from it. It completely changed the way sequels were made going forward, proving why it's beneficial to take the risk and deviate from the original's formula. It is a perfect microcosm of American film, and its legacy speaks for itself.
You ever seen that really old movie? Empire Strikes Back?
Jesus, Tony, how old is this guy?
I don't know. I didn't carbon date him. He's on the young side.
You know that part? Where they're on the snow planet? With the walking thingies?
What popular movie do you think has had the biggest cultural impact? Let us know in the comments below.
I did not care for The Godfather.
What?
Did not care for The Godfather.
How can you even say that, Dad?
Didn't like it.
Peter, it's so good. It's like the perfect movie.
This is what everyone always says.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.